Welcome to Skyhook Sessions, where we slice through the defense like a knife through butter. I'm your host, Delroy Davidson, and in today's episode, we're going to be talking about Masai Ujiri getting fired from the Raptors, the NBA free agency, and the NBA champions. Now, let's recap the NBA Finals. As you guys know, the Oklahoma City Thunder are the NBA champions. They beat the Indiana Pacers in 7 games at home. Unfortunately, in Game 7, Tyrese got injured and tore his Achilles injuries, which is going to have him out for the whole of next season. I wish you a speedy recovery, Tyrese, and hope for all the best. Back to OKC, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was Finals MVP. He just signed a 4-year, $285 million extension contract with the Oklahoma City Thunder, and I think it's going to pay him $71 million a year in 2027, 2028 season. So shout out to Shai for getting his bag. I rate it, you know what I mean? And time to go on that quest and defend your title. Couple quick history facts for you guys. They won 84 games this season, tying the Chicago Bulls, the 1996-1997 Chicago Bulls, as he's tying for the third most wins with the 96-97 Bulls, correct. They're the youngest team to win a title in nearly 50 years, which is pretty big. I didn't know that. And that's that on OKC. So wish them all the best. Congratulations to a successful season once again. Now, something new that my team brought up with me that they thought was fun was a little trivia stuff. So we have 2 trivias in this episode. So the first one is basically they gave me 3 nicknames that were attached to players in the league. The 3 names were the Glove, the Great Barrier Thief, and Baby Jordan. So I'm going to tell you guys the 3 players that I believe belong those names. So the Glove, Gary Payton, that's off the bat. I know that's for sure. The Great Barrier Thief, Dyson Daniels from the Atlanta Hawks, I hope. And Baby Jordan is Harold. Harold, I can't remember his last name, but his first name's Harold. He played in the 90s. He was a 2-time slam dunk champion, but he was Baby Jordan. That I remember. So that's that. Speaking on nicknames, let's dive into free agency and talk about Easy Money Sniper, aka Kevin Durant, who is now a Houston Rockets. As you guys know, he was a part of a multi-team. 7 teams were involved in this trade. I think it's the first 7-team trade in NBA history, just to land Kevin Durant in Houston. I like that trade for them because now Houston has a closer. They never had that last season. So now with a Kevin Durant, when Fred VanVleet is struggling or Sengun or all these other guys are struggling, Kevin Durant could take over and be like, I'm here, guys. I'm here. Don't save the day. So kudos to Houston on pulling off that trade. That's big for them. A next thing that caught my attention in free agency was Chris Paul announcing his farewell season next year. So that will be his last season playing. I don't know where he's going to play yet because he's still a free agent. So we'll wait for that. Looking forward to that. Milwaukee did some craziness. Out of the blues, they signed Miles Turner on a 4-year contract, and they waived Damian Lillard. So after waiving him, he's going to be getting paid $22.5 million a year for the next 4 or 5 years. I think it's 5 years. The next 5 years. So I like that. Maybe Miles could help stretch the floor more for Giannis, because he's a 3-point shooter. He could also defend. When Giannis goes on the bench, you could have one bigger day. I know Brook Lopez was there, but he's not there no more. But I like Miles Turner on Milwaukee. Atlanta did 1-2 things. They picked up Nickeil Alexander-Walker from Minnesota, and they also traded for Porzingis. I like those moves. Speaking on Porzingis, the Boston Celtics, that I said, traded him to Atlanta. They also let go Drew Holiday. They traded him to Portland to team up with the young core, I guess. I don't know what Boston's doing. I'm pretty sure it's because of the second team apron taxing that's going on now. Every owner in the league is like panicking now because now it's like mans are going to be really taking money out of their pockets. Now the league is going to start taxing mans. So I feel like they offloaded Kristaps Porzingis' contract because of that reason. Same with Drew Holiday. And with Tatum being injured, they probably don't feel like they could make a next title run this year with the injury. So I think that's why they chopped it up, which I think was stupid. But hey, I'm not an owner, so who am I to judge their pockets? My squad, Denver, they did it big. You know what I'm saying? You picked up a big man, which we needed, in Jonas Valanciunas. But as you guys know, if you guys don't know, there's some turmoil going on behind the scenes because he wants to play home. He wants to go back overseas and play over there. But unfortunately, he can't do that because he's under contract with the NBA. And Denver is saying, we're not going to buy you out of your contract. We're not going to let you go. We're going to make you stay this season to play for us. They also picked up Bruce Brown, who was on the championship team in 2023. So he's the big key glue guy off the bench. Glad to have him back there. And they traded Michael Porter Jr. for Cam Johnson. I love it. 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 Because now I know that Cam Johnson is going to be on the floor. Because Michael Porter Jr. was not on the floor. Inconsistent as in injuries. Injuries. Not inconsistency playing, injuries. We need someone that's healthy most of the time, right? Cam Johnson could shoot like Porter. He could defend like Porter. But I just feel like he's more consistent when it comes to those part of the game. So shout out to Denver for doing all of that. And I hope you guys sign Westbrook too. Get him back, get him back, get him back. I like what Miami did, getting Norman Powell from the Clippers. That's pretty big. And Minnesota re-signing Julius Randle and Naz Reid, because I thought Naz was going to cut still, because I heard teams were offering him a change. So to re-sign him, that's huge. Since we're on the topic of players as well, my team, this is the second trivia now that my team put in my show, and they want me to name every All-Star that was a Toronto Raptor. So we're gonna dive into that and let's go. So we got Vince Carter, we got Antonio Davis, you have Chris Bosh, you have Kyle Lowry, you have DeMar DeRozan, you have Fred VanVleet, you have Pascal Siakam, you have Kawhi Leonard, and you have Scotty Barnes. I don't think I'm missing anybody, but I'll find out later if I am. But I think those are my top 9 Raptor All-Stars since they became a franchise. Since we're on the topic of the Toronto Raptors, let's dive right into the firing of Masai Ujiri. As you guys know, the Raptors let him go a couple weeks ago, and he had 1 year left in his contract. That's the crazy part. They let him go this past year. A couple weeks ago. Give you guys a little history about Masai. He's been with the Raptors for about 12 years. He was the general manager, and then he became the team president. As you guys know, in 2018 summer, we did a big trade, and we got the Claw, a.k.a. Kawhi Leonard, to Toronto. And then he didn't stop there. Before the trade deadline in February, he did a next trade, and we got Marc Gasol from Memphis, right? So, and what happened that year? We won a championship. He built a championship team. Yes, Kawhi left after the season, and the following season, we were defending our title. Remember, that was the bubble season. That was the lockout year, right? So the league was off, and then they came back. So the league started in Florida in the bubble, and the Raptors took Boston to 7 games in the second round because we swept Brooklyn in the first round in the bubble, and then we took Boston to 7 games, and we had home court. I felt like if COVID never happened, and NBA players, the teams are playing in their gym, I think we could have beat Boston. I think we would have beat Boston and gone to the Eastern Conference Finals in 2020, right? We probably would have bought the Lakers in the bubble. I don't know why they let him go, because he's the closest thing to the NBA on our team. Like Keith Pelly, the CEO, you don't know nothing about basketball. Like Rogers, you gotta just greedy. You gotta just want to buy everything in the damn world. Let's keep it 100. We all know Ed Rogers and Masai Ujiri were not seen eye to eye behind closed doors. They were banging heads. Plus, they didn't want to pay the man, right? They let him go. Keith Pelly, the CEO, had a press conference. A reporter asked him, where was the decision into letting him go? He said that it was his decision supported by the board. He's a liar. It was not your decision, because you just came into this. You just came the CEO what day, yeah? You let go Brandon Shanahan from the leagues. We're not even talking about leagues right now, but you did so much things since you came in right now, right? You let him go. You did all of these things, Ray, and then now you're talking about, it was supported the board. No, it was not. Ed Rogers told you to do his dirty work, and that's what you did, Keith Pelly, right? And you let him go. All I'm saying to you, Keith Pelly, you better hire God, because guess what? Who are you going to replace Masai with that's so close to the league, that respect? He's well respected in the league. Why would you guys let him go? You couldn't put your pride to the side and just let the man stay at least 1 year? Let him finish his contract? Like, come on now. Like, you know what I mean? Now we're here guessing, oh, who the Raptors gonna hire now? We don't know how the team. I like our team, Brandon Ingram, Scotty Barnes. I feel like we could make a run next year with all these injury teams in the East. Indiana, Milwaukee, Boston, Cleveland. We don't know what they're on, right? But I feel like Toronto, Atlanta, Orlando, we could make little runs and probably be a play-off team instead of a play-in team. I don't know what to expect. But we just gotta wait to see who they hire. Once they hire, then I'll see if I like that person or not, and see if I think they're good for the team, and we'll go from there. That's all I gotta say about that situation. That brings us to the end of today's episode. Thank you once again for taking time out of your day to spend time with me on Skyhook Sessions. I appreciate the love and support. If any of your players move to a different team during free agency, or if you feel like your team didn't do anything, I would love to hear your feedback below in the comments. Let me know everything. If you're satisfied with your team, if you're not satisfied with your team, how you feel about OKC winning a championship, let me know all of it. It's summertime, you know what I'm trying to say? Let's keep that energy going, right? Let's keep our eyes high in the sky, right? Get that basketball knowledge going, because you know we got WNBA in the summertime too. A couple local stuff going on basketball wise. So tune into Skyhook Sessions as we're going to take you on this journey throughout the summer. Once again, I'm your host Delroy Davidson, signing off from Skyhook Sessions. Peace.